The music was already pulsing through the walls when Maya stepped out of the rideshare. She stood on the sidewalk for a moment, staring at the large two-story house glowing with warm lights. Cars lined the street. Laughter drifted from the backyard. And somewhere inside was Ethan. Ethan Hart. The most handsome guy she had ever met. Tall, dark-haired, effortlessly charming. The kind of man who seemed to belong in movies rather than real life. Maya had spent nearly 6 months crushing on him from afar, collecting tiny interactions like treasures. A smile in class. A brief conversation after a group project. A wave across campus. Tonight was his birthday party. And somehow she had been invited. Her stomach fluttered. "You look fine." The voice beside her belonged to Lily. Maya glanced over. Of course Lily looked amazing. She always did. Slim, petite, graceful, with glossy blonde hair and the kind of confidence that made every outfit look expensive. She wore a simple black dress and somehow managed to look like she had stepped off a magazine cover. Meanwhile, Maya tugged nervously at the hem of her navy blue dress. She knew she was bigger than Lily. A lot bigger. Normally, she tried not to think about it. Tonight, it was impossible not to. "You ready?" Lily asked. "No." Lily laughed. "Perfect. Let's go." The party was packed. People crowded the living room, kitchen, and backyard. Music boomed from speakers. Colored lights reflected across the walls. Maya instantly felt overwhelmed. Everyone seemed attractive. Everyone seemed confident. Everyone seemed to know exactly where they belonged. Then she saw him. Ethan. Standing near the kitchen island. Talking to a group of friends. Her heart nearly stopped. He looked even better than usual. A white button-down shirt with the sleeves rolled up. Dark jeans. Easy smile. For one ridiculous second she forgot how to breathe. Lily noticed immediately. "Oh my God." "What?" "You spotted him." Maya groaned. "Was it that obvious?" "You're staring like he personally invented oxygen." Maya covered her face. "Lily." Lily laughed. "I'm kidding." But Maya could already feel herself blushing. A few minutes later, they joined a circle of people near the kitchen. To Maya's horror, Ethan was part of the group. Close enough to talk to. Close enough to hear every word. Close enough to notice her. She suddenly forgot every social skill she possessed. Ethan smiled when he saw them. "Hey, you made it." Maya's brain short-circuited. "Yeah." Brilliant response. Absolutely incredible. A masterpiece of conversation. Fortunately, Lily stepped in. "Happy birthday." "Thanks." The conversation flowed naturally around them. Everyone seemed relaxed. Everyone except Maya. She became painfully aware of everything. The way her dress fit. The way she stood. The way she held her drink. The way Lily looked effortlessly elegant beside her. An hour later, the group migrated to the backyard. Someone suggested party games. A terrible idea. Maya immediately wanted to disappear. Unfortunately, nobody asked her opinion. Soon people were laughing, competing, and cheering each other on. At first, everything was harmless. Then came a game involving teams. The organizer looked around. "Okay, let's pair people up." Immediately, several people began choosing partners. Lily was quickly selected. Ethan ended up on the same side. Maya found herself standing awkwardly nearby. The organizer pointed. "Maya, you're with Ethan." Her heart exploded. "What?" Ethan grinned. "Looks like we are teammates." This should have been the greatest moment of her life. Instead, it became a disaster. The challenge involved racing across the lawn while carrying objects. Between stations. Simple. At least in theory. Halfway through the game, Maya tripped over a garden decoration. Nothing serious. But enough to stumble. Enough to lose balance. Enough to send a stack of plastic cups flying. The cups scattered everywhere. The crowd burst into laughter. Not cruel laughter. Just startled laughter. But embarrassment doesn't care about intent. Maya froze. Her face burned. She could feel dozens of eyes on her. Someone joked about the cups achieving flight. More laughter. Maya wanted the ground to swallow her whole. Then Lily spoke. Unfortunately, She spoke before thinking. Oh no. She laughed. Maya, only you could turn a simple race into a natural disaster. The crowd laughed again. Even Ethan chuckled. It wasn't meant to be mean. But in that moment it felt devastating. Because Maya was already embarrassed. Already self-conscious. Already standing in front of the man she liked. The comment landed harder than Lily intended. Much harder. For the next several minutes Maya smiled mechanically. Pretended she was fine. Pretended the humiliation didn't bother her. Pretended everything was normal. Inside she felt awful. She kept replaying the moment. The stumble. The laughter. Lily's joke. Ethan smiling. Every second grew larger in her memory. More embarrassing. More painful. More impossible to forget. Eventually she slipped away from the crowd and found a quiet spot on the back porch. The sounds of the party became distant. She stared into the darkness beyond the yard. A few minutes later footsteps approached. She expected Lily. Instead she found Ethan. Her heart skipped. You okay? Maya forced a smile. Sure. I don't believe you. Great. Now she was embarrassed and transparent. Ethan leaned against the railing. For what it's worth, nobody cared about the cups. Maya laughed weakly. Easy for you to say. Why? Because you're Ethan. He looked confused. What does that mean? It means you're. She gestured vaguely. You. He laughed. That explanation clears everything up. Despite herself, Maya smiled. The tension eased slightly. Then Ethan became serious. You know something. What? I think you're harder on yourself than anyone else here. She blinked. What? I mean it. The sincerity in his voice caught her off guard. He wasn't teasing. He wasn't being polite. He genuinely meant it. You looked embarrassed, he continued. But honestly, everyone was having fun. Maya looked down. Even after Lily's joke. Ethan shrugged. Friends tease each other. Still nothing. He smiled. For the record, I thought you handled it pretty well. Her cheeks warmed. For an entirely different reason this time. A few minutes later Lily appeared. The moment she saw Maya's expression, realization crossed her face. Oh. Maya sighed. Lily. No. Lily shook her head. I'm sorry. The apology came immediately. Without excuses. Without defensiveness. I was trying to be funny. I know. I didn't think. Maya nodded. Because she knew that was true. Lily wasn't cruel. Sometimes she was just careless. The difference mattered. The rest of the evening turned out better than Maya expected. She spent more time talking with Ethan. Real conversations. Not fantasy conversations. Not imaginary scenarios. Actual conversations. They laughed. Shared stories. Discovered common interests. And when the party finally ended, Ethan walked her to the front door. I'm glad you came. Maya smiled. Even after the cup catastrophe. Especially after the cup catastrophe. She laughed. Good night, Ethan. Good night, Maya. As she walked away, she realized something. The moment she'd been obsessing over. The embarrassment. The stumble. The laughter. It hadn't defined the night at all. She had. And sometimes the worst moments in your head were far smaller in everyone else's. Even your crush's. Especially when your crush was busy noticing you for reasons that had nothing to do with a stack of flying plastic cups. Chapter 2. The morning after. Maya spent the entire ride home replaying the night. Not just the embarrassing parts. Not even mostly the embarrassing parts. What kept returning to her mind was Ethan standing beside her on the porch. I think you're harder on yourself than anyone else here. The memory made her smile despite herself. Then immediately overthink. Had he just been nice? Was he saying the same thing he would say to anyone? Had she imagined the warmth in his voice? By the time she got home, she had created at least 12 different interpretations of the conversation. None of them were useful. The next morning she woke up to 3 messages from Lily. Lily, are you awake? Lily, I still feel bad. Lily, Please don't hate me. Maya laughed. That sounded exactly like Lily. She typed back, Maya, I don't hate you. The typing bubble appeared instantly. Lily, thank God. Lily, I seriously didn't mean to embarrass you. Maya, I know. Lily, you know I love you, right? Maya smiled. Maya, unfortunately, yes. A second later. Lily, rude. The truth was that Maya wasn't angry anymore. Hurt, maybe. Embarrassed, definitely. But angry. Not really. Lily had always been the type of person who spoke before thinking. Most of the time it made her funny. Sometimes it caused problems. Last night had been one of those times. What surprised Maya most was the next message. Lily, also. Ethan spent a lot of time talking to you. Maya immediately stared at the screen. Then put the phone down. Then picked it back up. Then stared again. Maya, and? Lily, and I'm just saying. Maya, you're saying nothing. Lily, I'm saying the birthday boy could have talked to literally anyone. Maya rolled her eyes. Her heart ignored the eye roll entirely. The following Monday felt strangely different. Campus looked exactly the same. Students hurried between classes. Coffee shops were crowded. Professors assigned too much reading. Nothing had changed. And yet everything felt slightly altered. Because now she had actually spent time with Ethan. A lot of time. The crush that had existed mostly in her imagination suddenly felt real. Dangerously real. She spotted him before her afternoon lecture. Unfortunately, he spotted her too. Unfortunately, because it triggered immediate panic. Ethan smiled. Hey. There was that smile again. The one that made coherent thought impossible. Hi. How's your recovery going? She blinked. My recovery? From the tragic cup incident. Maya groaned. Oh no. Oh yes. He laughed. The backyard is still recovering. I hate you. No, you don't. To her horror, she started laughing. They ended up walking toward class together. A simple thing. A completely ordinary thing. Yet Maya was painfully aware of every second. Every word. Every glance. Meanwhile, Ethan seemed perfectly relaxed. So, he said. So. Do you always disappear after parties? What? You vanished pretty quickly. Oh. She shrugged. I was tired. A lie. A very obvious lie. Ethan raised an eyebrow. You were overthinking. Maya nearly walked into a bench. Excuse me. You were overthinking. How do you know that? Because every time you think too much, you make that face. What face? That face. He pointed directly at her expression. Maya was horrified. I have an overthinking face. You absolutely have an overthinking face. By the time they reached the lecture hall, Maya felt strangely lighter. The conversation had been easy, natural, comfortable, something she never expected around her crush. Usually she transformed into a nervous disaster. Around Ethan, she still got nervous. But somehow she also felt like herself. Later that evening she met Lily for coffee. The moment Maya sat down, Lily leaned forward dramatically. Tell me everything. There is nothing to tell. Lily stared. Maya. What? You have the worst poker face in human history. Maya looked away. Lily gasped. Oh my God. What? You saw him. No. You absolutely saw him. Maya groaned. 10 minutes later, Lily knew the entire conversation. Every detail. Every sentence. Every embarrassing reaction. When Maya finished, Lily sat back with a victorious expression. What? Lily pointed dramatically. He likes you. Maya nearly dropped her drink. No. Yes. No. Yes. Lily. Maya. He was being nice. He invited you to his party. It was a big party. He talked to you. He talks to everyone. He found you on the porch. Maya paused. That one was harder to dismiss. For a moment Lily became serious. You know what your problem is. I have many problems. You assume people see you the way you see yourself. Maya frowned. What does that mean? It means you spend so much time worrying about your flaws that you assume everyone else is focused on them too. The words landed harder than Maya expected, because deep down she knew there was truth in them. That night, lying in bed, Maya thought about the party again. The embarrassing moment. The stumble. The laughter. Lily's joke. For days she had treated it like a catastrophe. Yet when she looked at the entire evening objectively, it occupied maybe 30 seconds. 30 seconds in a night that lasted hours. The rest had been conversations, laughter, connections, memories, and Ethan. A week later, another surprise arrived. Maya was leaving class when her phone buzzed. A message. From Ethan. For a full 3 seconds she forgot how to breathe. Then she opened it. Ethan. Question. Maya immediately typed. Deleted. Retyped. Deleted again. Finally. Maya. What? 3 dots appeared. Ethan. Would you like to get coffee sometime? Everything stopped. The hallway. The noise. The students around her. The entire universe. For one impossible second she simply stared. Then she read it again. And again. And again. Just to make sure she wasn't hallucinating. Because after months of crushing on Ethan Hart, the most handsome man she had ever met, he had just asked her out. And suddenly the worst night she thought she'd ever had was becoming the reason something wonderful might begin. Chapter 3. The Coffee Date. Maya read Ethan's message at least 20 times before answering. Not because she didn't know what she wanted to say, because she was terrified of saying the wrong thing. Her thumbs hovered over the screen. Absolutely yes. Too eager. Sure. Too casual. I'd love to. Too obvious. She groaned. Then she remembered Ethan's comment about her overthinking face. He would probably identify her overthinking through text if that were possible. Finally she typed. I'd like that. She hit send before she could change her mind. Immediately panic arrived. Ethan replied less than a minute later. How about Saturday? Maya smiled despite herself. Saturday works. Perfect. Just one word. Yet somehow it made her heart race. The rest of the week crawled by. Every day felt twice as long as normal. Every class dragged. Every assignment seemed pointless. Saturday couldn't arrive fast enough. Naturally, Lily became unbearable. The moment Maya told her about the coffee date, Lily nearly screamed. What did I tell you? You told me a lot of things. I was right. You don't know that. Maya. Lily leaned forward. He asked you out. For coffee. That's how dates work. It might not be a date. Lily stared at her, then stared harder, then laughed so hard she nearly spilled her drink. Saturday finally arrived. Maya changed outfits 4 times, then 5, then 6. Nothing looked right. Everything felt wrong. Too formal. Too casual. Too obvious. Too boring. After 40 minutes of suffering, she finally chose a simple outfit and forced herself to stop thinking. Or at least stop thinking as much. The cafe sat on a quiet corner near campus. Maya arrived 10 minutes early. A mistake. Now she had 10 extra minutes to be nervous. She ordered a drink and sat near the window. Every time the door opened, her pulse jumped. Then Ethan walked in. And for a moment she forgot every prepared conversation topic. He spotted her immediately, smiled, walked over, and suddenly all her nerves intensified. Hey. Hi. His smile widened. You seem nervous. I have no idea what you're talking about. Sure. The first 15 minutes were awkward. Not disastrous. Just awkward. The kind of awkwardness that happens when 2 people are aware that something important might be happening. Both of them seemed to feel it. Both of them danced around it. Then Ethan told a story about accidentally locking himself out of his apartment wearing pajamas. Maya laughed so hard she nearly choked on her coffee. And just like that, the tension broke. Hours passed. Neither noticed. The conversation flowed effortlessly. Movies. Music. travel, childhood memories, embarrassing stories, dream jobs, favorite foods. By the third hour, Maya realized something surprising. She wasn't thinking about how she looked. She wasn't worrying about comparisons. She wasn't wondering whether she was good enough. For once, she was simply enjoying herself. At one point, Ethan studied her thoughtfully. What? He smiled. You laugh a lot. Maya blinked. Is that bad? No. His voice softened. I like it. Her heart performed an acrobatic routine. When they finally left the cafe, evening sunlight painted the streets gold. Neither seemed eager to end the day. So they walked. No destination. No plan. Just talking. For Maya, it felt dangerously close to perfect, which was why disaster arrived right on schedule. Halfway down a busy shopping street, they heard a familiar voice. Maya. She froze. Lily. Of course. Because apparently fate enjoyed chaos. Lily rushed toward them. Then stopped. Then noticed Ethan. Then noticed the situation. Then got an expression Maya recognized immediately. An expression that meant trouble. Oh. Lily smiled. A very suspicious smile. Oh. Maya closed her eyes. No. What? No. I'm just saying hi. No, you're not. Ethan looked amused. Lily offered her hand. I'm Lily. Ethan. The famous Ethan. Maya wanted to disappear. Immediately. Forever. Lily continued smiling. Dangerously. I've heard a lot about you. Maya nearly died. Ethan looked delighted. Have you? No. Lee. Maya never talks about anyone. Lily grinned. Except you. Maya made a strangled noise. For one horrible second, she expected Ethan to become uncomfortable, awkward, or politely escape. Instead, he laughed. Actually laughed. The relaxed, genuine kind. Then he looked at Maya, who was currently considering faking her own death. Good to know. His smile lingered, and Maya's face somehow became even redder. Eventually, Lily left, though not before whispering, You're welcome. Maya hated her. A little. As they continued walking, silence settled briefly. Not uncomfortable silence. Just thoughtful. Then Ethan spoke. Can I ask something? Sure. Were you really talking about me? Maya groaned. Ethan. I'm curious. This is Lily's fault. So that's a yes. She covered her face. His laughter followed immediately. The strange thing was that the embarrassment felt different this time. At the party, embarrassment had felt painful, humiliating, heavy. Now it felt lighter, almost warm. Because Ethan wasn't laughing at her. He was laughing with her. Eventually, they reached a small park. The sun was beginning to set. Orange light filtered through the trees. Families packed up picnics. Joggers passed along the paths. The world felt peaceful. Ethan sat on a bench. Maya sat beside him. For a moment, neither spoke. Then Ethan looked at her, and his expression became serious. Not unhappy, just sincere. There was actually another reason I wanted to see you today. Maya's stomach flipped. Oh. He nodded. I wanted to tell you something. Suddenly, every nerve in her body became alert. Ethan hesitated, as though choosing his words carefully. Then he smiled. You know, before my party, I always thought you were intimidating. Maya stared. What? He laughed. That's exactly the reaction I expected. How could I possibly be intimidating? You always seemed confident. Me? Yes. She pointed at herself. Me. Ethan nodded. You always looked comfortable being yourself. Maya was genuinely speechless, because the description felt completely disconnected from reality. Comfortable? Confident? Those were not words she used for herself. Not even close. I spend half my life overthinking. I know. You know. I figured that out. He smiled. But that's not all people see. The words settled quietly between them. For years, Maya had assumed everyone noticed the same flaws she noticed, the same insecurities. the same shortcomings. Yet sitting beside Ethan, she was hearing an entirely different version of herself, a version she had never considered. The realization felt oddly emotional, and Ethan seemed to notice, because his voice softened. What? She looked away. Nothing. That's not true. Maya laughed quietly. No, it isn't. For a few moments they sat together in comfortable silence. Then Ethan spoke again, this time more quietly. Maya. Yeah. I'm really glad you came to my party. Her heart skipped, not because of the words, because of the way he said them. And for the first time, Maya allowed herself to wonder whether this wasn't just a crush anymore, whether something real was beginning, something neither of them had expected, something worth risking her heart for. Chapter 4. The moment she finally believed him. After their coffee date, everything changed. Not dramatically. Not overnight. Just little things. Messages became daily conversations. Daily conversations became routines. Routines became something both Maya and Ethan quietly looked forward to. A funny meme in the morning. A complaint about classes. A random question at midnight. The kind of small moments that slowly become important before you realize they're important. For Maya, however, one problem remained. Herself. Because no matter how much time she spent with Ethan, part of her still struggled to believe it. She could believe he enjoyed talking to her. She could believe he thought she was funny. She could believe he liked spending time with her. But every time she started believing he might genuinely like her, doubt appeared. The old voice. The familiar one. The one that had followed her for years. Why would someone like Ethan choose you? A week after their coffee date, Ethan invited her to a small gathering at a friend's apartment. Nothing fancy. Just movies, food, and friends. Maya agreed immediately. Then spent the next 2 days worrying about it. Naturally, Lily noticed. You've been staring at that mirror for 10 minutes. Maya sighed. I don't know what to wear. You've already chosen an outfit. I know. So wear it. What if I look ridiculous? Lily rolled her eyes. What if you stop inventing problems? The gathering itself started well. People were friendly. The atmosphere was relaxed. Ethan greeted her with the same smile that always made her forget how to think. For a while, everything felt easy. Until someone unexpected arrived. A woman stepped through the apartment door. Tall, elegant, beautiful. The kind of beauty that seemed effortless. Several people immediately greeted her, including Ethan. Maya noticed the hug, the familiarity, the comfortable conversation. Something unpleasant twisted inside her stomach. A few minutes later, she learned the woman's name. Sophia. And, unfortunately, she also learned something else. Sophia was Ethan's ex-girlfriend. The rest of the evening became difficult. Not because Sophia did anything wrong. She was actually kind. Friendly. Funny. The problem existed entirely inside Maya's head. Sophia seemed perfect. Confident. Stylish. Graceful. Everything Maya often felt she wasn't. As the evening continued, Maya became quieter. More withdrawn. More self-conscious. Ethan noticed. Of course he noticed. He always seemed to notice. When the movie ended, people drifted into smaller groups. Maya slipped onto the apartment balcony for some air. The cool night breeze helped a little. Not enough, but a little. A few minutes later the balcony door opened. She didn't need to turn around. She already knew who it was. Ethan stepped beside her. You disappeared. Maya smiled weakly. I was right here. You know what I mean. For a moment neither spoke. Then Ethan leaned against the railing. What's wrong? Maya immediately answered. Nothing. That's a lie. She laughed softly. You're annoyingly observant. I've been told that. The silence returned. Then Maya made a mistake. Or maybe it wasn't a mistake. Maybe she was simply tired of pretending. Do you ever miss her? The words escaped before she could stop them. Ethan looked surprised. Sophia. Maya nodded, immediately regretting everything. To her surprise, Ethan answered honestly. No. The response came without hesitation, without uncertainty, without confusion, just certainty. Oh. He studied her for a moment. Then understanding appeared on his face. Oh. Now it was his turn. Maya wanted to disappear. Again. A recurring theme in her life. Ethan. You were worried about Sophia. No. His expression said otherwise. Finally Maya sighed. Maybe a little. A little was an enormous understatement, but it sounded less embarrassing. To her surprise, Ethan laughed quietly. Not mockingly. Just gently. What? He shook his head. Maya. The way he said her name made her look up. Do you know why Sophia and I broke up? No. Because we wanted completely different things. His voice was calm. Matter of fact. There was no lingering sadness. No hidden longing. Nothing except acceptance. Then he smiled. And because she wasn't you. Maya stared. Certain she had misheard. What? Ethan laughed. You heard me. The world seemed to pause. Just for a second. All the doubt she'd carried for years suddenly felt very loud. Very present. Very desperate. Because this was the moment. The moment where she either believed him or didn't. Maya. His voice softened. I feel like you've spent months assuming I see you the way you see yourself. She looked away. Because that was exactly what she had done. I don't. Simple words. Yet they landed harder than anything else. I see someone funny. He smiled. Someone kind. Another step closer. Someone who cares deeply about people. Another. Someone who makes every conversation better. Another. And someone I've wanted to spend time with for a lot longer than she realizes. Maya felt her eyes sting unexpectedly. Not because she was sad. Because she was overwhelmed. Years of insecurity don't disappear instantly. They don't vanish because one person says the right thing. But sometimes someone can hand you a different mirror. A different perspective. A chance to see yourself through kinder eyes. And for the first time, Maya allowed herself to look. Really look. Not at the version of herself built from criticism and comparison. Not at the version that always felt less than everyone else. But at the version Ethan seemed to see. Maybe she wasn't perfect. She never would be. Nobody was. Maybe she would still have insecure days. Still overthink. Still doubt herself sometimes. But maybe she didn't need to be perfect to be loved. The realization felt strangely freeing. Ethan watched her carefully. What are you thinking? Maya smiled. A real smile. The kind that reached her eyes. I'm thinking Lily is never going to let me hear the end of this. Ethan laughed. A second later she joined him. Then, before she could lose her courage, she stepped closer. And kissed him. The moment lasted only seconds. Yet somehow felt much longer. When they finally pulled apart, Ethan looked delighted. Good. Maya blinked. Good. I've been wanting to do that for weeks. She laughed. And for once, instead of worrying about how she looked or what people thought or whether she measured up to someone else, she simply enjoyed the moment. Because the handsome guy she'd spent months crushing on wasn't looking for someone slimmer, or prettier, or more perfect. He was looking at her. And finally, she believed him. The next morning, Lily received exactly one text. Maya, you were right. 3 seconds later. Lily, I know. 5 seconds later. Lily, wait. Lily, oh my God. Lily, what happened? Maya smiled as her phone exploded with messages. Across the room, Ethan looked over. What's so funny? Maya laughed. Nothing. Then she put down her phone, walked over, and sat beside him. And for the first time in a very long time, she wasn't worried about whether she was enough. She was happy. And that was enough.